joining this live today. And happy feast day of St. Matthias the Apostle. And today, as we talk about these apostles, there are some things that I need us to look into as disciples of Jesus or as followers of Jesus. And let us first of all look at the life of this apostle Matthias. Who was Matthias? Matthias was one of those followers of Jesus Christ who used to follow him in his ministry, just right from his baptism throughout his ministry till his ascension. And Matthias is one of the 72 whom Jesus sent out to go and spread the gospel and to spread his word to the many peoples of the world. And Matthias reappears once again in the book of Acts of the Apostles. And where does he appear? He appears where they need to fill the gap that Judas has left behind. Judas, after betraying Jesus, it is written that he went and committed suicide or he got lost from the vicinity of the mission of Christ. And therefore, there was a gap. It means that there remained 11 people who are now at the ministry of Jesus Christ. And after the ascension of Jesus Christ, Peter sees a need to fill this gap, to make the number complete. As we understand, number 12 is a complete number, which was representing the full reality, like the completeness in this mission. And when they want to get someone to replace Judas, they look among the people who had been so close to Jesus, who have had personal experience with Jesus Christ. And who are these two people who are chosen, who were nominated by the apostles? One of them was Matthias, and the next was called Barabbas or Barsabas, who was also called Joseph. So among these two people, they had to choose one person who was to replace Judas because they needed the full number in order to continue with this mission. And after praying, they cast lots and the vote fell on Matthias, whom we are celebrating today. And as we celebrate Matthias today, let us just remember that after receiving the power of the Holy Spirit, he went to mission to Christ and he was killed. And some people say that he was crucified somewhere called Colchis, whereas others say that he was stoned to death in Jerusalem. What remains important is not his death, but what remains important is the mission that he carried out as an apostle of Jesus Christ, whom he had given his life to follow and to minister to as a close ally of Jesus Christ. What are some of the important things or the important elements that we need to learn from Matthias, who we are celebrating today, and from the readings that we had today? The first thing we need to learn is the importance of leadership. Through leadership, there is always a continuity. Like whenever we have leaders, we are able to continue with our projects. And that is why Peter saw the need that let us continue with this good leadership. And by continuing, let us fill in the gap that our brother has left. There are some of us that when a gap is left, we are always in a rush to squander that chance and use it for our own benefits. For example, you might find like in our political systems, when a gap has been left by someone, we are always quick that some people who are already in power would wish even to accumulate all those two positions and use them for their own gain. But the disciples or the apostles see the need that we don't need to squander this chance and use it for our own benefit. We don't need to use it like we are able to occupy it, but let us get someone to occupy this place. The importance of good leadership. Leadership is to be shared. It is not to be like I am engulfed in this leadership that I think that I'm the only one who can do it. It is good to share leadership. And that is why whenever there is good leadership, there is prosperity. And that is what the apostles saw, that there is need to prosper in the gospel of Jesus Christ, what they had been commissioned to do. Go to the whole world. They need, and they knew that they cannot go when they are 11. They needed a complete number to go and continue spreading this gospel, the number that Christ himself had instituted in them. And that is one of the things, the first thing that we learn, the importance of good leadership, where we share our responsibilities and where we ensure that no position is left vacant and that there is always an opportunity for people to use to enter so that they can also lead. It is not about me, but it is about everyone to be involved in this ministry. What is the next thing that we learn from this? We learn about prayer in making our decisions. We find that after these disciples had chosen or nominated these two people, Barsabbas and Matthias, they did not just resort to using their own ability to choose. They had really reflected and seen that these people had an experience with Jesus Christ and they had always been following Jesus in his mission. But what did they really need to do? They said, we are not going to choose them out of our own capability. We are not going to choose them out of our own wisdom, but we want to choose them out of the wisdom that comes from God. And that is why they resort to praying. The importance of praying in making our decisions. When we pray, before making important decisions in our life, God is involved. And wherever God is involved, there's always the goodness that will come with the decision. The decision will never be in vain, but it will be having power and authority from God that will always make the decision to stand and to be progressive and to help us in whatever we do. Hence, what do we learn? Let us learn to always engage God in our decisions by always living prayerful life. Whenever I want to make a decision in my family, whenever I want to make a decision in my place of work, let me involve God. He is the one who created everything. He is the one who knows all. He is all knowing. And He who knows all will help me to make a better decision that will always influence and will always help everything that I put my hand or everything that we put our hands to go on so well. Because let us believe that when God guides, He guides us to the correct paths, which are everlasting and which are all good. The third thing that we learn is about the qualifications. What were the qualifications of the person who was to replace Judas who had left the flock, who were to mission to Christ? One of the qualifications was that this person had to have a personal experience with God. He had to be someone who had been following Christ and who had been with him from his mission and had seen whatever he was doing. What is this teaching me? What is this teaching you? That we should always strive to have personal experience with Jesus Christ. When we have personal experience with Christ and when we are in unity with Him, we will always move to greater levels. Let me share with you an experience that have you ever seen or experienced that those who are always faithful to God, whenever opportunity comes, and clean opportunities, not just any opportunities, clean opportunities whenever they come, people always look and say, this person can do it well. He's faithful to God. He's faithful in whatever he does. He's a prayerful man. There's some qualifications for the clean jobs that will always and will only come to you if you are in if you have a personal experience with God and if you are united with Him. So we are called upon as Christians to always have personal experience with God and always to be united with Him, to follow Him faithfully. That is why He was chosen to be among the apostles because of the personal experience that he had and because of his commitment to serving and following Christ in his mission. If we follow Christ and if we have personal experience with Him, we will always be elevated to greater heights day in. The next thing that we learn from this is that God is the one who chooses us for His mission. That sometimes you move around and you find people saying that this person will never make it. You see an aspirant who wants to join seminary, people will be so quick to judge and say he can never make it. They see a sister who wants to do something, they see an aspirant who wants to become a sister, they say she will never make it. They see someone who's giving his life to be a leader in the church, they will always be judging and saying, even his family cannot lead it so well, it will never lead the church so well. It is God who chooses. That is why in the gospel of today, we hear Jesus saying that it is I who chose you, not you who chose me. And God does not give you a responsibility to choose those who are worthy to serve Him. He's the one to choose those who are to serve Him. Sometimes we say that that is a good man, he's the one who will serve the Lord well. Sometimes when those who are good are always left behind, and those who are bad are always elevated and transformed, broken and changed into being better ministers in the vineyard of the Lord. So let us always have it in mind that it is God who chooses, even though we may partake in choosing, but that ordination from God, that initial elevation comes from the Lord. The last thing that we learn from this today's feast is that unity of the church is very important. We should work together in this mission. Once somebody has given his life and we fail and we see that this person is preaching the gospel of God, let us not fight these people. Let us not be against Somebody who has given his life to serve the Lord. Given the chance to serve the Lord. He's serving the Lord, is not serving you. Don't be against him. Let us avoid the politics of the church. You see, all these churches or all these religions have been formed with one aim of praising the Lord. And if they're praising the Lord sincerely, never be there to judge and say it is my religion which is the best. That one will never go somewhere else. That one is a bad religion. Stop that. Focus on your relationship with God. Focus on the unity that you will foster between you and God. And never move around preaching about other religions. Preach about God. Preach about unity, which is found in God. Preach about love that Jesus Christ is telling us. Love one another as I have loved you. Never be at a position to minister to God and start sowing seeds of division. Sow the seeds of love. Sow the seeds of unity. Sow the seeds of prosperity. And sow the seeds which even the Holy Spirit will be happy. Do not annoy the Spirit of God. And lastly, let us always know that it is God who chooses us. And that is why He has enabled us and He has enabled me and you to see the new day. He has chosen you. And if He has chosen you, He has chosen you so that you may bear fruit. And everyone who bears fruit, He is promising us that whenever we bear fruits, our requests will always be answered. Look in your family, that child who is always bearing fruit. Look at the company where you work, at your place of work, at the school. The person who is always bearing fruit, even more is given to him. And whenever he requests, he receives because he is somebody who's productive. Whenever we lose the sense of being productive, we'll always be losing. But when I cultivate that aspect of always being productive, even when I ask, people will have trust in me. So always work towards being productive, not just in your life, but also in the mission that Christ has bestowed on you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you a very happy feast. And let us try to emulate the life of Saint Mathias, whom we are celebrating today. Blessed day, and I wish you all the best in whatever you do. You are in my prayers. Keep me in your prayers too, and let us move together as God's family, looking forward to establishing God's kingdom in the world. Let us not sow seeds of disunity, but let us be united in serving and praising the Lord by all that He has given to us. Thank you so much. Be blessed and have a blessed day.